So this is just a quick video overview of the Peak Strength Builder. Um, there are four sheets. This is the first sheet. This is basically where you enter the general information that you need for your training. And I've left the information I've been using for my own training just as an illustration. So I started on December 27th of 2025, and I'm doing a handful of exercises. Some of them are variations on each other. So I have the pistol and the assisted pistol. I have one armed push up, a pull up, and an offset pull up, kettlebell swing, kettlebell press, one handed kettlebell swing, goblet squat, and Turkish get up. You can choose up to 12 exercises, and they will sort of carry through the rest of the peak strength builder, but you don't have to do 12. So this is the first sheet. This is the second. This is the movement library. And what I tried to do here was to provide a basic curated list of activities or movements that you can use to construct your own strength routine. And this first list just includes 15 exercises. Body weight is on the left here. In the middle, you have kettlebell exercises, and then on the right are barbell exercises. So I took a lot of these from the work of Pavel Tsatsouline. For example, in his first book, Power to the People, he recommends the deadlift and the bent press as the only two exercises in a sort of minimalist um, strength routine. The way I've structured this is that you have a squat slash pull slash hip hinge movement in this group and a push movement in this group. So in theory, you can select one from each. So another routine that Satsulin recommends is the one-legged squat, the pistol, and the push-up, working up to one-armed. And that's a complete strength routine with just body weight. Or if you want to use kettlebells, you can do the swing and the Turkish get-up. That's another combination that he recommends. But um, you could also switch these up. Like you could do the pistol and the Turkish get up. I don't know. The get up also involves kind of a squatting movement, but maybe you'd want to do the pistol and the kettlebell bent press. That would be interesting. Or you could do one armed push ups and a kettlebell swing. There's any number of combinations you could try, but I try to arrange this so that you have basically two big groups. And if you want a very minimalist routine, you can select one exercise from each group. I also separately included McGill's Big Three, which is for core stability. Um, it's been a while. It's been 6 or 8 years ago. I hurt my back deadlifting. And I discovered these exercises as I was trying to figure out how to heal and recover. And they're just incredibly helpful for basic core stability, for posture, and for dealing with back pain. McGill is sort of the world expert on low back pain or general back pain. So, highly recommend those if you've ever had back pain, if you want to prevent back pain, or if you currently have back pain. Um, if you're dealing with it currently, you might just do McGill's Big Three and maybe add in, if it feels okay, add in some kettlebell swings or some push-ups. That would be another cool. Yeah, I mentioned that already as a combination. So anyway, that's what that is. Here's some others. In theory, many of the exercises in this list could have gone in the first one, but I just wanted to keep this minimal. So I took Pavel Tsatsulin's recommendations and added a couple others. Um, to come back here, this is basically a progression. So if you've never used a kettlebell before, the overhead or military press is going to be one of the easiest places to start. You could go from there to a Turkish get-up, from there to a side press, and then to a bent press. Um, Same thing here. You'd want to start out with the swing, maybe work through some of these exercises, and then eventually work your way up to a snatch. So anyway, this is another, just additional supplemental activities that are useful. Some of these, like these box steps and box jumps, are important if you're familiar with Scott Johnston, who is a coach that trains mountain endurance athletes. So he uses these like the box step up the split bench squat, and yeah, some of these exercises are recommended in his work, and this is his core routine. So I tried to add those into the supplemental activities. So you have basically everything from Tsatsouline and from Johnston, and here are Tsatsouline's recommended minimalist to exercise strength routines. Each of these is a link. I won't click on them here, but these are not my videos. These are just the best descriptions and demonstrations of each of these exercises that I could find. If you want to find your own, of course, that's fine, but this is to make it easy just to give you a sense of how these work. And then down here is just an alphabetical list of all the exercises with the link spelled out, the URL. So that's the exercise library. If you don't know what exercises you want to put here, you can just come over to the movement library and experiment and explore a little bit. So this is the strength log. It goes for a whole year. So it starts at, for a little bit over a year actually. It starts at December 27th, which is, if you remember, that's the date we entered here. And it goes day by day. Each of these big rows is a day, all the way to January 1st of 2027. So it's like about 53 weeks or so. I added a little bit on the end just in case it's needed. So what you do here, these are numbers, training numbers that I've entered over the last few weeks or over the last month. And I'm using Pavel Tsatsulin's Grease the Groove method, which is basically where you intersperse low rep sets of specific exercises throughout the day, every day. So I've hit almost every day, not quite, but the way this works is you can see there are sets up at the top, so up to 10 sets, and weight is the white column, and reps is the orange column. So for the pistol, for example, I did 6 reps, 3 in each leg, and I did 5 one-armed push-ups on an incline, and so on. These are body weight exercises, so they don't have any weight. This is a weighted exercise, the kettlebell swing. I did with a 35-pound kettlebell, I did 10 reps, and then I did that again for a second set. Same thing with the kettlebell press or the Turkish get-up. I'm not recording time for my workouts right now, but this tool does have functionality. So if you're doing for time, active time and rest time. So if you're doing something like every minute on the minute, EMOM, or some kind of interval training, or you just keep track of your time, you can enter that here. Again, that goes up to 10 sets. So for this first set of weight and reps, I would want to enter the active time and rest time over here. And you can see that on the left, this stays fixed, so you can see which exercise you're recording for. There's a third option if you're doing more than 10 sets. Pavel Tsatsouline does have some programs where he recommends even more sets than that. So if you're doing more than 10 sets, you enter the weight here. So let's just say, I'm doing 35 pounds of some exercise, and I'm doing 10 reps per set, and I'm doing 30 total sets. I'm trying to do that in 5 minutes, or let's say 2 minutes, and I'm resting for 1 minute. If you enter information here like this, it will override the information in the blue and orange sections over here. So if we come over to our strength visualizations, this is what we just entered. It's this indigo column right here. So I'll go ahead and delete that, but that just gives you an idea of how this works. And finally, you have notes over here. So this is the strength log. You use this over the course of a whole year to track, hopefully, all of your strength training. And what that allows you to do is to come over to this visualizations section, which has 3 charts. I'll zoom out so you can see those. We have a daily chart which is a rolling most recent 20 days. So today is January 28th, 2026. So it shows that day and the 19 days before it. We also have a rolling most recent 20 weeks, which sums up, basically stacks what you did that week and compares it with previous weeks. And then we have an annual chart, which shows daily what you've done each day. Now, what I like about these charts is that you can choose what data or what metric you want them to display. So right now we're up here on total reps, but I can also go to average reps, which shows me for each day, including all the days up to that single day, how many reps of that exercise I did on average. So on average, I've done 23 incline one-armed push-ups per day. Or this is kettlebell press. Yeah. On average, 13 of those per day. And you can see the individual values down here in this table. So similar, if we come down here per week, this shows the average reps. Is that correct? Did that update? Yeah. So it's gone down. Basically, I found that as I probably started out a little overeager, and had to cut it back as I went. And this shows it by day from a sort of zoomed out annual perspective. Here's another one, cumulative reps. This is especially helpful on the annual chart. It stacks up all the reps you've done. So I've done 2,500 total reps across all the different exercises so far in the last month. You can do the same thing with sets. Here's your total sets. We'll go back up to the daily so you can see it. So I had a number of days when I just did one set per day. Then I bumped up to 2. Yesterday I did 4. Today I'm at 2. Average sets, same as average reps, just for obviously a different data point. Cumulative sets, and again, that's nice to come down and see here on the annual chart. And then weight, so how much weight, which is basically weight times reps times sets, or weight times total reps. So that shows each day how much weight was done each week, and then each day on an annual view. You can do your max weight. That's not really important for what I'm doing right now because I'm just using a 35-pound kettlebell, but if you're trying to, hit your maximum bench press or squat, that could be useful. Your average weight per day, and I like this one a lot, cumulative weight. So I've done almost 40,000 pounds of weight over the last month. Finally, we have active time, reps per minute, minutes per set, rest time, and total time. We don't really have data entered there, but hopefully it's self-explanatory enough so that you have a sense of what that's about. So this is just a brief video overview of the Peak Strength Builder. Hopefully this is enough to get you started. If you have questions, you can put them in the comments here, and I will do my best to provide whatever additional information might be needed.